In the peaceful village of Asa, there was a woman named Dalia, known for her warm smile and her stories that could make even the oldest elder sit in awe. She married Tola, a strong and respected man from the powerful Abedemi family. The Abedemis were known for their great wealth, their grand house at the edge of the village, and the mysteries that seemed to surround them. Dalia loved her husband deeply. She would wake every morning before sunrise to cook his favorite meals, weave beautiful patterns into his clothes, and always had a story ready to brighten his day. Tola, in return, promised her that they would have a family filled with love and laughter. But there was one strange rule that he insisted Dalia follow. You must never ask about the family shrine in the forest, Dalia. It's a place only for Abedemi men, Tola warned her one evening, his face dark with worry. Dalia's heart sank a little each time he mentioned this. Why would Tola keep this place hidden from her? She trusted him, but sometimes, late at night, when the village was silent and the only sound was the wind rustling through the trees, she would hear whispers. They sounded like Tola's voice, soft and full of secrets. They would say things she didn't understand, things that made her wonder what he was hiding. One day, as Dalia was walking through the market, she overheard two old women whispering. The Abedemis, did you know they are said to hold a dark secret in their shrine? One of them said, her voice barely above a whisper. Their wealth came from the spirits, but it comes at a high price, the other replied, looking around nervously. Dalia's heart beat fast as she listened. She knew it wasn't right to eavesdrop, but something inside her told her this was important. Could this be what Tola was hiding? That night, Dalia waited until Tola was asleep, then wrapped herself in her shawl and crept out of their house. She moved quietly, following the path to the forest, her feet guided by the whisper she heard in the wind. The deeper she walked into the trees, the colder it got, and the moonlight grew faint as if it was afraid to shine too brightly in that place. Finally, she reached the shrine. It was a small, stone building covered in vines, with a strange symbol carved into the door. Dalia hesitated, fear gripping her heart. But then she remembered the stories of brave heroines she'd grown up with, and she took a deep breath and stepped inside. The air in the shrine was thick, filled with the smell of smoke and something else, a smell she couldn't quite place. As her eyes adjusted to the darkness, she saw a small altar with a clay pot, its surface covered in ash. Inside the pot lay a small figure carved from wood, its face twisted in pain. Just then, she heard a voice. It was soft, but unmistakable. Tola's voice, whispering. Forgive me, spirit of the shrine. I promised to give you my firstborn son, as my father did before me. This is the price for the wealth we have. Dalia froze. Her heart felt as if it had shattered into 1,000 pieces. She could barely breathe. Tola had promised their child, the child she hoped to have one day, as an offering. Her legs trembled, but she forced herself to stay silent and listen. Tola continued, his voice sad but determined. I wish it didn't have to be this way. But the family wealth depends on it. The spirits demand it. Dalia's hands clenched into fists. How could he do this? The man she loved, the man she trusted, was planning to betray her and sacrifice their future child for wealth. She felt anger rise within her like a storm. She wanted to burst into the shrine, to confront him, but something told her to wait, to plan. Dalia slipped quietly out of the shrine and made her way back to their house. She lay beside Tola that night, but sleep would not come. Her mind raced, trying to find a way to protect the child they hadn't even had yet. She knew she couldn't let this happen. The next day, Dalia went about her chores as usual, though her heart was heavy. Tola noticed her sadness. Is something wrong, my love? He asked, his eyes filled with concern. Dalia forced a smile. I'm fine, Tola. Just a little tired. But inside, she was anything but fine. She was determined to find a way to break the family curse, to protect her future child from the dark promise Tola had made. That night, as the moon rose high and the village grew quiet, Dalia lay in bed, her mind filled with plans and worries. She knew she couldn't fight the spirits alone, but there were stories of a wise old woman, Mama Ebo, who lived at the edge of the village and was said to know secrets even the spirits feared. Dalia decided she would seek her help. The next morning, while Tola was away, Dalia gathered a small bag and set off to find Mama Ebo. The path to her hut was narrow and twisted through tall, shadowy trees. When she finally reached it, she saw Mama Ebo sitting outside, as if waiting for her. "Oh, Dalia," Mama Ebo said, her voice gentle yet knowing. "I've been expecting you." Dalia's eyes widened. You know why I'm here?" Mama Ebo nodded. "The spirits have whispered to me of a mother's broken heart, of a betrayal as deep as the sea. Come, child. We have much to discuss." Dalia followed Mama Ebo inside, her heart beating with hope. This was her only chance to save her family from the curse that threatened to tear them apart. She sat across from Mama Ebo, listening as the wise woman began to tell her what she must do. But the journey ahead was filled with dangers, and Dalia knew she would need all the strength and courage she had to face them.